let's switch it a little bit to the NBA season starts next week.
We have had a great preseason so far.
We had a great preseason, interesting storylines. Actually, do you want to start with your storyline?
Let me just start with this. Russell Westbrook has looked terrible. Bunch of turnovers, sloppy with the ball. I don't understand what he's doing. But at the same time, Russell Westbrook is on a new team. A lot of these players have been here. Not a lot of them, actually. Some of these players have been here. We have a whole new team. But the good thing is we're starting out the season with the whole new team.
Yeah.
So we just got to get accustomed to each other. I'm not really worried about Russell Westbrook.
Okay, and I would agree there. Also, it's preseason. Let's calm down on that one a little bit.
Yeah.
I still think it's going to take time for Westbrook to get in rhythm with this Lakers team. But that being said, I still think obviously it's going to happen at some point. Russell Westbrook is too good of a player.
He's too good of a player to allow himself.
And people like to say he's selfish. He's not. He's a very selfless player. He'll let the other guy take control scoring wise.
I'm sure Westbrook just wants to win a championship.
Yeah, I think now, especially at this time in his career, he does want to win a championship. But based on what you've seen, preseason, last season, let's give, and like off-season moves, I want you to just name out, just off the top of your head, because I have it listed. I know you don't, but who do you think the top teams in the league are going to be, East and West? So let's start with the East.
So the East, I got the Bulls.
I like that. That's a good one.
Bulls, 100%. I also got the Bucks, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the 76ers.
Neither do I.
I don't think they're going to be up there anymore. The Heat. After that, we got the Nets, of course.
Yes.
But after that, I ain't really got nobody for you. Everybody else looks kind of terrible.
Okay, so I'll list mine out. I listed it out by seeding. My seeding predictions.
It's on that side.
Don't look. At number 1, or I'll start from 8. At 8, I got the Magic.
Cares.
I like them. I like the move that Jalen Suggs. I like the move that they got for Jalen Suggs. Markelle Fultz will be coming back off an injury. You got Mo Bamba going into his 4th year. He's looked good in preseason. So let's see if Mo Bamba starts to become that first-round draft pick. They got guys. They got young talent. So I don't see them being a completely dominant team. But I see them more as like the Memphis Grizzlies of last year. A team that just shows potential. That shows like
pass on a
team that shows like, okay, this team can be going somewhere. Next one. I got the Sixers at 7. I know the rumor. Apparently, Ben Simmons has come back to Philadelphia. Apparently, the money is still more. He can't lose out on all that money. That Ben Simmons is going to lose out on. Apparently, that was the rumor as well. But I think this team is a little. I think it might be a little shaken up from that playoff series loss. And also the fact that Ben Simmons might not fully be motivated to even play as a Sixer. And as much as people want to hate on Ben Simmons, he still is a key point to this team. So without him playing 100%, this is where the Sixers team can really falter a little bit and just, Next team, I got the Celtics. Just all right. Dennis Schroeder coming in for at the position for point guard is a good move. But
let me do some research.
Taylor,
you talking about Dennis Schroeder?
Dennis Schroeder. He's going to be a solid point guard pickup. But really what I like from that Celtics team, of course, is going to be Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown if they stay healthy.
Dennis Schroeder.
What?
All right, just
either way. I like Tatum and I like Jaylen Brown, but I don't think they're as complete of a team as they've been in the past. And obviously Brad Stevens is now no longer the Celtics head coach, who I still thought was a solid head coach. I think the coaching change will be for the worse there in Boston. Next team I got the Hawks at 6. At 5. My apologies.
The Hawks?
Did they not just go to the Eastern Conference Finals last year?
I feel like it was a very easy path over there.
It was not a fluke. It was not a fluke for the Hawks. I think the Hawks are still a solid team and a dangerous team with Trae Young, and it's young. It's young. Kevin Huerter. You got Bogdanovich. You got Trae Young. It's a young team,
I'm not
built
a
with a
believer
couple
in
veterans
Knox.
here and there with Gallinari and Capella.
I'm not a believer in Knox.
I do think the Hawks are still a playoff team. I don't think they just go away. They're not just gonna go away. Either way. Next one, I got the Bulls. Their offseason moves I love.
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan, who should have been an All-Star last year. You already have Zach LaVine. You got Vucevic in the midseason last year, so that kind of completes your big three. Then you got Lonzo Ball. And you still have Kobe White, who's only going to get better. It's a young, with veterans, similar to the Hawks a little bit with DeRozan and Vucevic, but it's a young team with guys like LaVine and Kobe White and Lonzo Ball. I like this Bulls team. I like the moves that they made, and I think it'll work well for this team. Then I got the Nets at 3. Whoa, big surprise.
Oh, at 3? At 3?
Because Kyrie Irving is...
I don't think they need Kyrie Irving.
No. In the end, I still think you can hate on Kyrie for what he does off the court, although I don't think he's like a bad person. I just think he's
just a weird person.
He's just kind of selfish sometimes, really, when I think about it. Because he doesn't put the team first. It doesn't seem like he cares about basketball.
It's not even just this situation. It's everything.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he cares about basketball anymore. But for Kyrie Irving not being in, I don't think the Nets team is super great. Of course, it's Harden. It's Harden and Kevin Durant. Of course, 100%.
Honestly, for me, I feel like they got the best 2 out of the 3, and these are the only 2 that they need.
But I think they're a lot more vulnerable without Kyrie than they are with him.
I don't know.
100%.
KD carried that team last year, and I feel like James Harden. He's the point guard.
Here's the thing. I got the Nets at 3 because I think without Kyrie Irving, I think these other 2 teams can prove to be a little more dangerous. I think you might expect who these next 2 teams are.
Who's the number 2?
The Miami Heat.
The Heat are better than the Nets.
Without Kyrie, I think they can prove to be a threat to them. Jimmy Butler. Here's the thing. People like to get on the Heat a little bit for how they performed last year and that they were only a bubble team. But Miami, remember, similar to the Lakers, had the shortest offseason of all time, right? Because they also, too, played until the finals.
Yeah, I think it was, 2 months?
It was 2 months, and they got right back to it. Obviously, that hurt with injuries because you had guys like Jimmy Butler getting hamstring injuries, Bam Adebayo going out now and then. They couldn't stay healthy. I think with the move of Kyle Lowry as that point guard, who, as much of a Dragic fan as I am, I think that's still definitely a bump up with Kyle Lowry. You got Victor Oladipo, who did it on a veteran's minimum. Victor Oladipo, who we know has the potential to be great. Jimmy Butler, who we saw when he played at his best in the finals. I think when healthy could still play at that level. Then you got Bam Adebayo, who is a top 3 center in the NBA. This Miami Heat's team, I think with healthy, this could be a very good team and a team that compete with the Nets when the Nets aren't 100%. And then, of course, at number 1, I got the Bucks because it's the defending champions. They're the team that beat Brooklyn in that series, and that was when they didn't have Kyrie Irving as well. And they made moves to just improve a little bit. They didn't lose any big names. They got George Hill back now in Milwaukee, and they also got Grayson Allen, who looked solid on Memphis and looked like he was starting to develop a little bit. So I think the Bucks only improved from that championship team that they were. In the West, do you want to just give who your top teams in the West are?
You know who the best team in the West is. You know what I'm saying? California, L.A. We all love L.A. Lake Show, baby. It's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Behind that, I got to put the Nuggets in there. I think that the Nuggets are going to be a great team this upcoming year.
Respect it.
I got a sleeper here. I think the Rockets are going to be kind of good.
Ooh. You like their first round pick?
I like the picks that they made. I also got to say the Clippers, obviously.
Even without Kawhi Leonard. I still think he's going to come back like middle of the season. Late season.
And I think that Paul George is still going to make this team great. In the beginning.
I think, but
and then they're going to start slacking, and then Kawhi's going to come back. They'll be back.
Okay. I'll let you finish. You got any other teams you want to mention? Or
last team, I want to just talk about this. The Warriors. I don't think they're going to be very high. I think they'll be like a 7 or 8 seed.
Okay, no.
But I do think that when they get into the playoffs, they're going to get on fire, and we might see something special. When does Klay Thompson come back?
Comes back in December.
I feel like they're going to barely make the playoffs. Jordan Poole has looked cool in this preseason. I like the way he looks. But when Klay Thompson comes, I'm very curious now because he already was injured.
Yeah.
And I was scared then.
Yeah.
He got injured again.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see if he comes back. Let's see if he's the same player when he comes back. For me, at 8, I got the Grizzlies. Again, a young, solid team. But I don't think they're fully there yet, especially with how powerful the West is this year. At number 7, I got the Mavericks. I didn't really see any moves.
They need help. They need help.
Doncic needs help. I didn't see the moves made to support Luka.
Luka's just he's doing it by himself. He's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
But they're not winning that much.
So I don't see this team going too high with the supporting cast that they have at the moment. 6, I have the Clippers because the only reason I have them lower is because Kawhi Leonard's going to be out. Yeah. But I still think this team is going to be solid with Paul George leading the charge. You had Reggie Jackson, who rejuvenated a little bit. Actually, Reggie Jackson's always been good. He's just been underrated. And now he's on a good team. And then you also have Terrence Mann. A young player. A young player who stepped up. Who will probably be taking a starting spot now while Kawhi Leonard's out. Next team, I got the Jazz.
Ew.
The Jazz, I think the Jazz...
They're just one of those teams that are going to make it to the playoffs but won't do
anything. Here's my biggest comparison to the Jazz. They are the Houston Rockets. Back when Houston 2018.
They're going to make it to the playoffs and just lose.
But here's the thing. Houston was a team that relied too much onto that three-point shot that they're going to live by it and they're also going to die by it. Mm-hmm. And when they die by it, it's going to look bad. I think this team they got the potential to compete with the best, but they're going to be too inconsistent because they rely too much on that three-point shot. Mm-hmm. And players go cold. It just happens. It's hard. It just happens, You can't be red hot every single game. So that's just kind of how it is for the Jazz. The next one, I got the Warriors. I got the Warriors at 4. So I'm not too biased about it, but I 4. Do. That's good. That's a good spot.
Just Steph Curry.
Steph Curry, Jordan Poole.
Andrew Wiggins did get vaccinated.
And Andrew Wiggins got vaccinated. And then we got our first round picks. Kuminga. And then a couple other we got 2 first round picks this year that could prove to be very solid. Yeah.
Nico Mannion is on the team. And you also got there's another player too. Can't remember who he is.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys have some promising players.
We have promising players. We got Draymond Green, and then we get Klay Thompson back in December, and James Wiseman comes back in November.
I think that I'm not a believer in Andrew Wiggins though. So.
I think he's a good defender. I think what he brings defensively is definitely helpful. But either way, I still think this Warriors team. I see guys like Jordan Poole stepping up this year. These young players are going to finally, because we went young here with this team. To see, if we can rebuild kind of like the 2015 Warriors where it was strength in numbers in a 6-man. I see the Warriors proving that they can this year. Next one, I got the Suns.
I forgot about the Suns. I truly did.
I got the Suns at 3. I still think they're a solid team. Sure, maybe they shouldn't have went to the finals if we're going to be honest, because they should have lost to the Lakers if the Lakers were fully healthy, and they could have lost to the Clippers had the Clippers been fully healthy. But that doesn't disregard the fact that the Suns are still a solid team with Chris Paul and Devin Booker leading the charge there.
Honestly, to the Warriors' respect, I think the Warriors are better than the Suns.
Okay.
And to the Warriors' respect, I feel like the Suns, they were very well coached throughout the playoffs.
Monty Williams.
He did a great job in the playoffs because their roster, it's not something you would look at and be like, that's a championship team.
Yes, of course, because I still feel like they're missing a player here. But DeAndre Ayton stepped up too, actually. So DeAndre Ayton needs credit. But it's still a good team. It's a good playoff team, man.
Yeah, but so Devin Booker is not. He's not consistent enough to be your best player, in my opinion.
Let's see.
For a championship team,
do we anticipate Booker to get better? I definitely do.
Yeah, he was too focused on Kylie Jenner and stuff.
For number 2, I got the Nuggets. Crazy. Got the Denver Nuggets at 2. Because they got the reigning MVP. They got Nikola Jokic. who is the reigning MVP. My apologies. And they got Jamal Murray.
Oh, he wasn't there, so.
Jamal Murray wasn't there, and he'll be coming back probably around mid-season. I expect
They're a very well coached team.
Very well coached team. You got Aaron Gordon. You got Porter Jr. So, Michael Porter Jr.
No, Michael Porter Jr.
Yes.
I was thinking of Kevin Porter
No,
Jr.
so yeah, Michael Porter Jr. They got guys. They have a solid roster, and they're well coached. And when I think Jamal Murray comes in, it completes it.
Yeah, and Michael Porter actually just signed a new extension. So that
Yeah,
shows that they have a lot of confidence in him.
They have a lot of trust in him.
He was injured when he came into college and stuff, but he was the number 1 ranked high school recruit.
Yes, 100%.
His entire high school career.
To end off, I got the Lakers. Why? Westbrook, Anthony Davis, LeBron James. Enough said there.
Melo.
That's all I need to say. And Carmelo, but enough said with the big three right there.
Yeah, it's
too dangerous.
It's going to be very hard to compete with.
Either way.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
It's going to be very hard to compete with the Lakers when our worst player on our team is Kendrick Nunn.
Okay.
That's our worst player. Wayne Ellington is our worst player.
Yeah.
It's going to be very hard to compete.
Yeah, very good point. To go on to the awards, we're going to just quickly go through it. We'll start with sixth man. For my sixth man, I have Cameron Payne of the Suns. Because I like what I saw from Cameron Payne at the end in the playoffs. He had many games where he went for 20 points. I think he had another one where he went for 19. He showed spurts of being a great sixth man, and I think he carries over that same performance from the playoffs. He averaged, I think it said like 9.5 points per game in the playoffs compared to 7 in the regular season, which 2 points per game is a good jump up. I expect another jump up here as he gets more comfortable in that Sun system a little bit with Monty.
My sixth man of the year, I got a crazy one for you. Because, honestly, sixth man of the year is kind of an award that I don't really care for that much. It doesn't really mean anything. It's the Lou Williams Award.
It's the Lou Will Award, yeah.
Yeah. I got Alex Caruso.
Oh, my God.
Now, you might think, oh, Trev, you a little biased, man. It's because he's from the Lakers. Nah. Alex Caruso, he was held back on the Lakers because of all the talent that was around him. We also had a lot of ball handlers on the Lakers. LeBron
the White
James.
Mamba. The White Mamba.
The White Mamba, man. I think when he gets over to Chicago, you know, he going to get a little bit more hood in him. He going to be a little more black than usual. And he might step up into the play, and I think he'll be a great player for the Bulls.
Good point. Good point. For my most improved, I have Jordan Poole. I like what I saw from him in preseason. So far, he had 17 points per game, and then he also had a 25 point per game, 25 points against the Lakers in preseason. He's a guy that we've known is just continuing to get better every year, and I expect him to take a good jump here to be recognized as the most improved player.
Yeah, I didn't even have to write mine down because I already knew who mine was.
Okay.
Kevin Porter Jr.
Kevin Porter Jr.
Now, you know, that's why whenever you say Porter Jr., that's the name that pops up in my head.
Yeah.
He's on the Rockets.
Yeah.
Now, right?
Well, you do think the Rockets are going to be a good team
I think the Rockets are going to be a good team. Kevin Porter Jr., if you watch him in the G League, you would know. You know what I'm talking about. Kevin Porter Jr. has the greatest high school dunk that you'll ever seen in your entire life. It's the one where he does it behind the back and he dunks. You probably didn't know that was him.
Yeah.
But he's a great player. He's a great scorer. He has great potential as a defender as well. He can ball handle. Yeah. He's like 6'6".
Yeah. All right. I respect that pick.
I think he's going to be a great player.
I respect that pick 100%. For my defensive player of the year, I got Anthony Davis.
Same thing here.
Okay, because I do think Anthony Davis is going to be that anchor of the defense when healthy.
He's going to play a little more center this year.
A little more center. I think, and again, so like I said, he's going to be the anchor of that defense, kind of, protecting the paint a little bit. And he's a guy who's versatile enough to also cover out in the wing as well. Yeah. Rookie of the year. I got Jalen Suggs. Remember, I said this Orlando Magic's team is pretty good. So I like the pick of Jalen Suggs from Gonzaga. I think what he brings more so than even just scoring is good defense. So I like this pick for the Magic. Who do you got?
Now, this is kind of weird because I have two players from the same team.
I think I know who you're talking about then.
I got Josh Christopher.
That's a...
Nah, I don't have Josh Christopher. Jalen Green.
Jalen Green.
From the G League Ignite is going to be the best rookie to ever come out of this draft class. And he is going he's going to be one of the top players in this league in about 3 years.
Wow.
I'm going to call that out right now. He's very athletic.
That is extremely bold.
Very athletic. Great shooter. He's always going to have a lot of confidence because he pulls a lot of girls. He's literally, his Instagram name on Instagram is just Jalen.
Just Jalen.
There's a lot of other Jalens in this world. So,
you know how you'll remember him.
He knows that he's going to be something in this world. And I have confidence that Jalen Green is going to be the new James Harden for the Rockets. He's going to carry that team if Kevin Porter
We're both
doesn't
going with
do it.
Jalen's here a little. But I'm going to stick with my pick. But actually, I'm not upset with that pick either. Interesting that you're going to keep going with the Rockets, though.
I have a lot of confidence in the Rockets.
We're going to end it off with MVP, and then we're just going to end it off with how we think our playoffs will just play out very quickly. But the MVP for me is Jimmy Butler. I said before.
Oh my God, Jimmy Butler.
Why is Jimmy Butler frowned upon now?
Ew.
At what point did he show that?
Literally, he's not that good. He just has a lot of hustle. He has a great heart. That's his best skill.
I mean, is he not a great defender?
Besides defense.
A good finisher? And also a good playmaker at a small forward position? No.
Good.
Jimmy Butler is what made the Heat run last year. He was the engineer of that entire team. Everyone else was just a tiny little cog in Jimmy Butler's machine that he was engineering.
Though? Huh? Like he's gonna be
because here's the
on his
thing.
team.
I expect this Heat team with the moves they made to be a top team, and I think the person who's gonna get a lot of credit for that is Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler is gonna be playing great on both sides. He's gonna be a great playmaker. Of course, he's always gonna be a solid scorer, and then we know he's a great defender.
I think his numbers are gonna be decreased with Kyle Lowry.
I would beg to differ. I think Jimmy Butler. See, it's not always about the numbers for Jimmy Butler, but I still think scoring wise, he might come in with a little more motivation this year. But it's not just that; it's what he does as a defender, and then he'll still be a great playmaker. So I got Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I think Jimmy Butler is gonna be great. I think he's gonna be great this year. But MVP level, no, I don't even think he's gonna be a candidate.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with my pick.
My MVP, I got Kevin Durant.
I respect.
I think he's gonna continue on from last year, and there's no Kyrie anymore.
Well, at the moment,
I don't think Kyrie's coming this year, honestly.
Okay.
And I could be wrong, but this is what I will say: if it's not KD, I'm gonna go with James Harden.
Okay.
I'm going with somebody from the Nets. Because even Blake Griffin, not Blake Griffin, but
yeah, whoa.
James
relax.
Harden or Kevin Durant are going to be one of the MVPs this year, because they're going to be on the best team in the East. They might have the best records in the league, and they're both the most two talented players in the league.
Yeah, okay.
There's not many players more talented than them.
Respect. So, 100% respect.
James Harden or Kevin Durant.
All right. And then I'm just going to go quickly over how I think these playoffs will play out. Seeing as the way I got the seeding, I got the Lakers going all the way to the
Super Bowl.
No.
To the World Series?
No.
Where are we going?
See, I'm just seeing the way it plays out. I got the Lakers against the Grizzlies, right? I got the Nuggets against the Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Suns against the Clippers, who the Clippers will now be fully healthy.
Mm-hmm. I'm not seeing the issue here. Looks like Lakers.
I got the Lakers stopping in the Western Conference Finals
against
the Clippers.
God. Oh, it finally happens. We've been waiting so many years for it to happen.
I think it finally happens. First of all, I think the Clippers and the Lakers finally get that matchup.
Man.
Here's what I think, though. I think the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard, the supporting cast figures themselves out, and then they add on Kawhi Leonard to make it better. They help support that. So that's why I got the Clippers winning on the Western Conference side.
Quick question.
Go ahead.
Before you continue on. Reggie Jackson against Russell Westbrook. Who wins that?
I got Westbrook, obviously. But I think Reggie Jackson is not like super far behind with the way he played in the playoffs.
LeBron and Kawhi are going to cancel each other out.
I think so. And I think Paul George is better than Anthony Davis.
What about Melo? Is he scoring-wise?
Ooh, what?
Scoring-wise.
Did you just compare Melo right now at this point in his career to Paul?
At this point in his career.
He's not touching Paul George.
No.
He's not touching PG.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not. He's not touching PG. I got the Clippers.
Yeah, he is.
I have the Clippers. You just gave me reassurance here. I got the Clippers.
Nah,
I got the Clippers representing my West. In the Eastern Conference side, I have the Bucks again.
I don't know.
I have the Bucks again.
I think the Bucks aren't even. I don't think the Bucks are going to be number 1 seed this year.
No, I have the Bucks. I have the Bucks again because I think Drew Holiday now in his second season with Milwaukee, they got good players like, George Hill and Grayson Allen to help shore up that backup, and the one player that wasn't even in the whole entire playoffs but is actually a solid player is Dante DiVincenzo, who looked good at the shooting guard position but ended up getting hurt there at the end of the year.
He looks good.
As a supporting cast for the shooting guard position, yes, definitely. The Bucks would have had an easier time with teams if they had DiVincenzo in there as well. I had the Bucks. The Nets, I don't see it. So I don't think this Nets-Lakers championship is happening. I just don't see it with Kyrie Irving out.
Beautiful. We had Lakers, Clippers, and Lakers Nets. That would be beautiful.
I don't see them doing it with Kyrie Irving being out. I still see them being a very vulnerable team and a team that will lose to the Bucks. And because of this, I have the Clippers winning the championship this year.
Oh my God.
Yeah. My NBA champion is the Los Angeles Clippers.
Oh my goodness.
The Clippers. But go ahead.
Who's MVP of the finals?
Finals MVP? Kawhi Leonard.
Not Paul George?
No. In the end, it's Kawhi Leonard. But go ahead. Give yours real.
Let me just tell you how this is gonna go down. Okay. First game, Lakers versus Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm.
Could be any team. Could be the Jazz. Could be the Warriors. Sweet.
Okay. So obviously, I'm gonna make an assumption here and say that you got the Lakers going.
I got the Lakers going to the championship. Clippers are not gonna be who we play in the Western Conference Finals.
Who you got?
I
think I know who you got. Maybe
we're getting a rematch against the Suns.
Really? Wow.
Now this is why I say that. Even though I just talked about how I don't feel like the Suns are that good, they're a well-coached team, and I feel like they stay healthy. Mm-hmm. Most of their team stays healthy. Besides DeAndre Ayton, he's a little iffy. Yes. But Clippers are going to be injured. I could see Paul George getting slightly injured, having a little issue. He always has a shoulder injury.
Yeah, okay.
Something little,
Mm-hmm.
Could also see the Mavericks not doing nothing.
Yeah.
A bunch of other teams don't really matter.
Okay.
And who's that last team right there? The Nuggets?
Yeah, you don't got the Nuggets being competitive? No.
Nikola Jokic? No.
Okay.
And on the other side, now we got Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Freak. Miami Heat.
Yep. Got the Nets.
We got the Nets. And we got the Bulls, right?
I'd say that looks like the big four right now of this Eastern
It's them
Conference.
4, right? Bucks ain't making it.
Okay.
They not even making it past the second round.
Okay, that's enough.
I think
that's enough. I'm gonna have to shut you off there. Just go ahead. Get past the Bucks now. I'm gonna have to ask you to get off that subject.
Okay.
That's
now,
enough.
We got the Heat, the Bulls, and the Nets.
Yeah.
I think the Heat and the Bulls go up against each other.
In the finals?
Not in the finals.
Eastern Conference finals?
I'm talking about in somewhere in the playoffs.
Okay, somewhere in the playoffs. Cool.
And I think the Heat win.
Okay, whoa.
Okay.
Holy, whoa.
Now we got the Heat and the Nets. The Nets are going to beat the Heat. And I think we will have Nets versus Lakers in the finals. But I'm not going to lie. I am a little iffy on who wins. Because I do feel like LeBron is older. He isn't winning that whole battle against fatherhood.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely getting older. Anthony Davis, he's gonna get injured again this year. It's sad to say. I hope he doesn't, but he gets injured every single year, 5 times a year.
For me, I'm gonna have to disagree and say it was injuries that really. I think this Nets team will not stand a chance with Kyrie Irving out. Remember, they picked up Kyrie Irving in free agency as one of the core pieces of this team. Without him, it's not the same.
I feel like the Nets don't need him. I feel like James Harden and Kevin Durant. If it was just James Harden and Kevin Durant, you would still be scared.
But you, as a Lakers fan, of all people, think that the Nets, not fully healthy, can take out the Lakers or even have a chance to?
Yeah, I do.
I don't. If you want to go with that finals, which isn't my finals, but if you want to go with that finals, I would have to go with Lakers.
I mean, I still think we're going to win.
Okay.
But I'm saying that I do feel like they have a chance.
A little iffy. Okay. Interesting that, a little humble there from a Lakers fan.
I'm not too biased.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little reasonable here.
All right. Yeah. I like it. So that'll be a good way to end off the episode here.
Okay.
A lot of things happening in sports so far. A lot in the football world and a lot in the basketball world, to say the least. But
I'm excited. It's
big time.
The next upcoming episodes are going to be interesting because we're going to have basketball and football.
So this is
my favorite time of the year, man.
This is the great time of the year where all 4 sports, also October baseball, the Giants. Actually, we could do this right now on the episode because now you'll know what time we're recording this on a Tuesday. We have Game 4 right now, and the Astros are up 10-1 right now on the White Sox. Oh my God! Travis doesn't watch baseball, but for me,
Astros, bro.
Okay, Travis doesn't watch baseball, but for me, I've always said still, even though that they cheated, the Astros are still one of the best hitting teams in the league. You can stop with the sarcasm. That's enough.
Okay.
But also, big game tonight, Giants versus Dodgers. I guess by the time this episode releases, though, you'll see how that goes. But I'll just say this right now. I guess you guys will already know if I'm right or wrong, but the Giants close out tonight against the Dodgers. So, go Giants! Either way, it's an exciting time. October baseball is going on. You got the NBA season starting up, and you have the NFL season already approaching the mid-season point now. So this is an exciting time. And hockey's getting started up, too. The big 4 of America's sports right now are getting going right now.
Well, wait. Are we talking about hockey?
Hockey's up there more than soccer.
Guys, I don't care what Dro says. We will never talk about hockey on this show, okay? But yeah, this was a great week. I mean, we had some John Gruden type stuff, but
besides that, we had exciting games, and seasons are starting up again. So I want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Heavily Contested. I want to thank my co-host Travis, of course, and we'll see you guys next time.
Do see you.